The journey toward achievement is rarely a straight line. It is a winding path filled with unexpected turns, steep climbs, and moments where the destination feels impossibly distant. Yet it is precisely this complexity that makes the pursuit of any meaningful goal so profoundly transformative. Along the way, we gather lessons that shape not only our understanding of success, but also our character, resilience, and perspective on life itself. These lessons are not always gentle. Some arrive as quiet revelations, while others strike like lightning, jolting us into awareness. But each one, whether subtle or seismic, contributes to the mosaic of wisdom that guides us forward. One of the most fundamental lessons on the path to achievement is the necessity of perseverance. History is filled with stories of individuals who refuse to surrender to setbacks. Consider the inventor who failed 1,000 times before creating a breakthrough, or the artist whose work was rejected by every gallery until one finally said yes. These narratives remind us that persistence is not just about stubbornness, it is about faith. Faith in the process, faith in one's vision, and faith that effort, even when it seems futile, accumulates into something greater. Perseverance teaches us to separate temporary defeat from permanent failure. It asks us to redefine obstacles as stepping stones, to see each stumble as a chance to recalibrate and push ahead. The act of continuing, even when the outcome is uncertain, builds a resilience that becomes part of our core. Closely tied to perseverance is the lesson of embracing failure as a teacher. Society often stigmatizes failure, framing it as a mark of inadequacy. But those who achieve greatness understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it is an integral part of it. Every misstep offers a clue, a hidden insight into what doesn't work, which ultimately illuminates the path to what does. Failure strips away complacency and forces innovation. It humbles us, reminding us that mastery is a process, not an event. When we analyze our failures instead of fearing them, we unlock a deeper understanding of our goals and ourselves. This shift in mindset transforms setbacks into setups for future victory. Another critical lesson is the power of discipline over motivation. Motivation is fleeting, a spark that ignites passion but often flickers when challenges arise. Discipline, on the other hand, is the steady flame that keeps us moving forward, even when enthusiasm wanes. It is the commitment to show up daily, to put in the work regardless of how inspired we feel. Discipline builds habits, and habits compound over time. Small, consistent actions, writing a single page, practicing a skill for 20 minutes, making one extra phone call, may seem insignificant in isolation, but collectively they create momentum. Over days, months, and years, discipline turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Patience, too, is an indispensable ally on the journey. In a world that glorifies instant gratification, we often underestimate the value of slow, deliberate progress. Achievement rarely adheres to our timelines. Seeds planted today may take years to bear fruit. Impatience breeds frustration, tempting us to abandon our goals prematurely. But patience teaches us to trust the unfolding of time, to recognize that growth cannot be rushed. It encourages us to find joy in the process itself, rather than fixating solely on the outcome. When we learn to marry urgency with patience, acting with purpose while surrendering to the natural pace of development, we cultivate a balance that sustains us through the long haul. Equally important is the lesson of interdependence. No one achieves anything entirely alone. Behind every success story are mentors who offered guidance, friends who provided encouragement, and communities that fostered growth. Acknowledging this truth does not diminish individual effort, it amplifies it. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. Collaboration opens doors to perspectives we might never have considered, and humility allows us to learn from others' experiences. The path to achievement is a collective endeavor, woven from the threads of shared knowledge and mutual support. Adaptability is another essential lesson. Rigidity can be the enemy of progress. Goals evolve, circumstances shift, and the strategies that once worked may become obsolete. Clinging to a predetermined plan in the face of changing realities often leads to stagnation. Adaptability, however, empowers us to pivot, to innovate, and to find creative solutions when the old ones no longer serve. It requires courage, the courage to release what is familiar and embrace the unknown. This flexibility is not about abandoning our vision, but refining it, allowing it to mature as we do. Self-belief, too, plays a pivotal role. Doubt is a natural companion on any ambitious journey. There will be moments when we question our abilities, our worthiness, or the validity of our dreams. Yet, achievement demands that we silence the inner critic long enough to take the next step. Self-belief is not the absence of doubt, but the decision to act in spite of it. It is nurtured through small victories, through reminding ourselves of past triumphs, and through surrounding ourselves with voices that affirm our potential. When we cultivate a mindset rooted in possibility rather than limitation, we unlock reservoirs of strength we didn't know we possessed. Another profound lesson is the importance of defining success on our own terms. Societal pressures often dictate what achievement should look like: wealth, fame, title. But true fulfillment comes when we align our goals with our values and passions. Comparing our journey to others is a recipe for discontent. Achievement is deeply personal. It might mean building a family, creating art, mastering a craft, or contributing to a cause. When we clarify what matters most to us, external validation loses its grip, and we find freedom in pursuing what genuinely resonates with our soul. The journey also teaches us about the fleeting nature of external rewards. Trophies tarnish, accolades fade, and even the thrill of reaching a milestone eventually subsides. What endures are the internal transformations, the skills we've honed, the resilience we've built, the relationships we've nurtured. Achievement, in its purest form, is not about the destination, but who we become along the way. It is about evolving into versions of ourselves capable of overcoming challenges, embracing growth, and contributing meaningfully to the world. Gratitude, too, emerges as a vital lesson. It is easy to focus on what we lack: more time, more resources, more talent. But gratitude shifts our attention to what we already have. It grounds us in the present, fostering a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When we appreciate the opportunities before us, the support around us, and the progress we've made, we fuel our motivation to keep going. Gratitude also reminds us that achievement is a privilege, one that carries a responsibility to uplift others as we climb. Finally, the path to achievement teaches us the value of rest and renewal. Burnout is the enemy of sustained effort. Pushing ourselves relentlessly without pause leads to diminishing returns. Rest is not laziness, it is an act of respect for our humanity. It allows us to recharge, to reflect, and to return to our endeavors with renewed clarity and energy. Balancing ambition with self-care ensures that our pursuit of achievement is sustainable and joyful rather than draining and punitive. In the end, the lessons we gather on the path to achievement are not merely strategies for reaching goals. They are blueprints for living a purposeful life. They teach us to embrace challenges as opportunities, to find strength in vulnerability, and to measure success not by external benchmarks, but by the depth of our growth. The journey molds us into individuals who are resilient, compassionate, and wise, qualities that outshine any trophy or title. As we navigate the twists and turns of our unique paths, may we carry these lessons not as burdens but as beacons, guiding us toward a legacy defined not just by what we achieved, but by who we became in the process.